Welcome back. You're now watching the lifestyle segment on the Weekend Show brought to you by HoloCrunch. With rising numbers of unemployment and poverty in Nigeria, a lot of young people have taken time out to start new businesses, to bear the risk, and to also bring innovation and find ways to solve their problems. Today on the lifestyle segment, we'll be talking about entrepreneurship and innovation and how more young Nigerians can key in, especially at a time when universities have been on strike for 7 months. And I'll keep on saying that until we have some form of resolution. Joining us, we have Light Ihesilu, CEO of Lognetics. Welcome back to the Weekend Show.
Thank you very much, sir.
We also have Izugo Namdi, the co-founder, Excellent Africa.
Thank you.
Welcome to the Weekend Show.
Thank you.
So we'll start with you, Light. You were here a couple of weeks ago on our Entrepreneur Spotlight, and I know you had an event called Explore, which was meant to happen, I think happened about a week ago. Tell us about that.
Okay, basically Explore is an event powered by Lognetics. What we're basically trying to pull off, the theme of the event was a glimpse into the future we are building. Our company being a tech organization, we've basically been working on cutting-edge technologies that can actually simplify humanity and also transform lives. So we used Explore to launch out majority of the products that we'll be building. But now the future base of Explore revolves around young people coming up with innovative ideas and then revealing these ideas to the world. So basically the first stage of Explore was just in-house, and they wanted to reveal to the world what our company is capable enough of doing. Then subsequently, a lot of organizations as well will definitely key in and then reveal their blockbuster products. So we are basically trying to redefine the whole tech system in Africa.
So the Explore event you had a week ago, who were the participants? What exactly did it achieve?
Okay, so basically our core audience were those who were synced in the tech space. As much as we needed a lot of tech people to be on ground, we also had people from different walks of life, arts, music, and the likes of them. So we are trying to see how we could simplify tech. A lot of people find tech to be a bit boring, but in our company, as much as possible, we incorporated arts, design, and also music into bringing the uniqueness in technology. So we accommodated a whole lot of persons during Explore.
Okay.
So, yeah.
Great. Izugo, it's good to have you. It's your first time on the show.
Thank you.
But I'm well aware that you're an active advocate of entrepreneurship and young people. Tell us about Excellent Africa, what it's about.
Basically, Excellent Africa, we initiated the idea while studying abroad, in India precisely. And the major areas which we considered at the time was education, because we believe that it is the bedrock for the societal development globally. And you cannot advance more than your literacy level, I mean, in terms of the people in general. So our priorities at the time was to connect with educational institutions in India, because we believe that India had done so well in the education sector. And we wanted to woo them back to Nigeria to see how we can partner with them, connect them with the universities here, and also bring down their institutions here to Nigeria. So that was the first primary sector that we focused on in Excellent Africa. And then we later moved on towards health, also considering the same model of the business. And finally, as of 2021, we had an initiative with the Nigerian government to set up the Nigeria-India Business Council. And that was primarily for what we call economic diplomacy. So that is what we are championing now, because we think there is a need to build the skills of young Nigerians so that they can be upskilled. You know, the current education system does not really support our people for the labor market, the demand in the labor market. You know, so we are thinking that this kind of exchange programs, this kind of innovative ideas that we need to solve our problems in line with the SDGs, things that we should prioritize as an organization. So basically that's what we're doing Excellent. And so far it's not been very rosy, because I think we've just been in Nigeria for almost a year now, and trying to test the business environment in Nigeria. So, but I think the policies of the government needs to be more improved, and reason towards the younger people.
Brilliant. So talking about entrepreneurship and what you did, I like that you mentioned India, because I understand that India makes more money outsourcing technology to the rest of the world than Nigeria makes from oil. I mean, we almost don't make anything from oil anymore, and that's with technology alone. Now, a lot of young people these days, when they think about entrepreneurship and business, their mind goes just to tech broadly, but I like that you mentioned education and healthcare. So besides just focusing on tech, but while leveraging tech, how can young people get into the entrepreneurship space? What sectors do you think we can key into for people who want to venture into their own stuff?
You see, this thing is something that has to do with the mindset. Actually, the educational institutions in Nigeria are supposed to be environments where ideas are developed, incubated, and probably funded, to become something very, very, we don't see unicorns in Nigeria, and that has not happened because of also the fact that the government has not created a capable environment, an environment that is self-replicative, And for example, I tell you about the Nigerian startup bill. I was just discussing that with my colleague the other day. And if you see that startup bill since 2021 has been just focused on tech. But there are other sectors, agriculture. People could go into vertical farming. They could use the same technology in the agricultural sector in terms of agro, fintech, and so many other things, education now, you see what happened with the COVID-19. The schools were closed down. But in the rest of the world, even developing countries, education continued, because people leverage on artificial intelligence, alternate learning systems, which we also at the time proposed to the Nigerian government because we had also developed something of that nature, AI technology. It is something that was supposed to come into, and we were willing to give it free. The government of Gabon at the time was very interested in the technology, but Nigeria, which is our own country, because we are nationalists actually, even though I'm a Pan-African, we want to always see that we do something for our country. So you see, the alternate areas outside technology, if the government does not create that atmosphere for people to see it as an option, they will just focus on technology, developing applications and the likes. So, but agriculture, even in terms of e-commerce, education, which is key, services, there are so many things that can happen. And the ideas are the money also, so I'd like to also be restricted in how I...
Okay, so let me bring Light back in. He spoke about some of the challenges which they face. His organization, they've been actively in business for a year now, and he spoke about how it hasn't been rosy. Tell us, and I know you would say money and policies, but tell us, Brazil, what are the challenges which young people face when getting into entrepreneurship and innovation?
Okay, just as he mentioned, money is everything. But majority of the time, I personally running a business, I'm not really seeing capitals and also the funding as the major hindrance, even though it's one of the strongest boosters to implement the most amazing ideas. Now, majority of the time, the willpower and motivation is there, but the capitals might not be there. So how do we get these capitals to generate fundings if we don't, to generate better value systems? That's in the aspect of implementing very nice technological systems. I'm basically looking at it to cut through being intentional about productivity. Now, when you're more intentional about productivity, capitals could actually come. That's the truth. Now, him also owning a business, and I also owning a business, the truth is capitals is one of the strongest limitations, but the fastest way to cut majority of this limitation is just keep moving. That's the sincere truth. Like, let me throw back to the events that were just basically held. If I was basically looking at the capitals to start up the events, it would have been a total it would have been a total rubbish. Let me use that word. But then looking at the future we are basically planning to build, and also that we've basically started by implementing ourselves, we got a lot of recognitions from platforms. We don't have to relax our mind and fold our hands and wait for the biggest of companies to find us, but just with the little value system we are developing, I strongly believe that consistently will also bring results.
And I agree with you. It's about just starting, and also most times you need to understand that you have to bootstrap, get little funding from friends, family, and see. However, a big problem which I've realized is that while we constantly complain about unemployment, underemployment, and poverty, a lot of young Nigerians are not really employable. And so you interview some people, they've got first class, second class upper on their certificates, on their results, but they can't hold a conversation, they can't write properly, they don't work well with structures. And you spoke about education. Now, most of the big companies abroad have started doing away with university certification degrees, and they're now focusing on certifications. How can we implement that in Nigeria, where it's not about the 4 years in the four walls, it's about the value which you can add by developing yourself?
You see Nigeria, you see in terms of the demographic population and the demographic, you look at the youths as a major chunk of the population. And each day, because of their exposure level also, internet and all, they see a lot, they create a lot of things, they fantasize, they have a lot of imaginative ideas and things that they want to bring into reality. But there is something also which is that factor, because we need to also get the politics right. I'm sorry that I'm going to be talking about this, but that has to happen, because I use India as a case study. The second Prime Minister of India, Lal Bahadur Shastri, I was fortunate to work with his institute as the director for the African affairs. What he did was he made education not for profit. You see what ASU is demanding for people are on strike today, the infrastructure the government cannot fund. This can happen with a VAT system. That's a tax policy that can, what the government is doing with some of those big companies where they make roads and they are eased on. These funds can be directed towards the education sector. And in doing so, the benefit will not be immediate, but it's something that we will immensely benefit from. So I think what Nigeria needs actually is the right leadership, and the young people have an opportunity because they are the ones who are bearing the brunt of this. If not for our interest in the country, I mean, most of us would be very comfortable where we were, but we thought we should come back and contribute, because you have to be the one to tidy your house. You need to make your home okay. And the young people have a role to play, and education is, I mean, the funds at Origo to actually resolving most of these issues.
Thank you very much. And wrapping it up, we hear about Nollywood to the world, Afrobeats to the world, but the main word which we hear right now is Japa. The number of young Nigerian professionals who are leaving the country to Canada, to the UK, to US, to Dubai, it's in large numbers. How can we, like what he's trying to do, export this our talent and our resilience to the world in a structured form where we can get more funding and get more revenue? So a good example is what happened with Andela, where you had a great set of developers here in Nigeria who could provide services to people around the world. How can we push Nigeria entrepreneurship to the world, same way we've done with music and movies? Let's wrap up.
Okay, I strongly believe in the fact that Nigeria is a very fertile ground. Trust me. Most of the time when I'm communicating with some of my clients outside the country, and also I do business with most of these people, and of course the statement Japa is a normal stuff for every single young tech person, because they feel like Nigerians are not really giving them what they want. Let's say, for example, you're building a website for a Nigerian brand. They could undercharge you. I mean, they could underpay you, and most times Nigerians see this as limited value placed on the results that they're implementing on most of these systems. Looking at it from a very large scale, I feel like if Nigerians, that's talking about Nigerians in higher positions, that's leaders, put in so much interest in technology, trust me, the technological base in Nigeria and also Africa as a whole would definitely take a new shape. You mentioned something about linking the educational space and also how developed nations of the world are not necessarily looking at your educational result, certificates and the likes of them before they can give you offers. I have a lot of friends that, I'm not a graduate yet, I'm still in university and I'm in my final year, and I've been able to build a company that's definitely, I'm very, very confident in the company that we're currently building, that's Lognetics. I've been able to build the company with a team of creatives who are not also graduates, and we are doing excellently well. Now, imagine if we have a stronger attention placed in the tech space. A lot of things will be redefined in Africa and also in the world. Nigeria is like the central point when you're looking at, when a lot of people are looking at Africa, the first thing that comes to their mind majority of the time is Nigeria. So imagine Nigeria becomes that track booster or that system that will transform the whole technological space. Trust me, every single thing will move smoothly. Technology is the future and the now.
I'd like to hear Shilo. I'm CEO of Lognetics, and Ezego, and I'm the co-founder of Excellent Africa. Pleasure having you on the show. We hope to hear more from you and wish you all the best in all your endeavors.
Thank you.
That's the much we can take on the lifestyle segment. But on Entrepreneurship Spotlight, we have Sharifa Amira Shuaibu, CEO of Leon and Gray, joining tenderly very soon. And then we have Aisha B with social media, trends, and entertainment. Don't go away. We have more on the Weekend Show when we get back.